Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today. Still fighting a cold this week, but we're here, man. 323-870-3857. If you guys want to call and ask questions. Fight of the year. Maybe. ESPN and DAZN. Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. Beef, this is the one we've all been waiting for. And you know what? I tell you what, it did not disappoint, man. Artur Beterbiev wins a majority decision over Dmitry Bivol by the scores of 114 even, 115, 113, and 116, 112. Beterbiev pressed the action and was the aggressor as expected. Bivol played the matador for most of the fight and did a pretty good job, by the way. I actually had Bivol winning the fight 115, 113. But in the end, it was the pressure of Beterbiev that actually won that fight. That type of pressure, and B will tell you this too, takes a lot out of somebody. When you're constantly having to think about what to do when there's no break. He's just coming forward, throwing shots. You don't know where he's just throwing shots. And Beterbiev, the crazy part about this whole thing is that a 39, 40-year-old Beterbiev looked fresher as the fight went on. As the fight went on, I mean, 11th to 12th round, he was bouncing. He was on his feet. And Bivol looked like he was slowing down. And I think a lot of it, obviously with some of those body shots that he hit there, both fighters landed a lot of punches. Bivol started showing the effects later in the fight. His face and his eye were swollen at the end of the fight, man. He looked like he was banged up pretty good. But at the end of the day, it was a close fight. Like I said, I had Bivol winning, but it's hard to argue either way. It just depends on what you're watching. It depends on what you're looking for in a fight. Some judges favor effective aggression, and Beterbiev was effectively, was doing the effective aggression thing. Some people like the matador. Bivol wasn't backing up. He was being chased at times in there, but Beterbiev cuts off the ring really well. But his footwork, he was trying to circle him. He was trying to circle around, make those tight little circles in the center of the ring, not get his back up on the ropes too much. I thought it was good though. I thought, like I said, man, it was a tough fight to score. It really was. And it's what you're looking for. Like I said, we had it. I think Beeb and I both had it. I think I had it 2-1. You had it 3-0. And toward the middle of the fight, I said, it depends. I said, it would not surprise me if the judges had it flipped the other way, because it's what you're looking for as a judge.
I had it 115 and 113 for Beterbiev. And here's the thing, because they both ended up landing close to the same amount of punches, but Beterbiev was throwing a lot more. And early in the fight, Bivol was really doing some great work with his jab. But as the fight wore on and he was moving so much, he started wearing down, not only because of the pressure, but because he was forced to move away all the time, and he couldn't set his feet. Like he tried early in the fight when he was fresh, he would stand his ground and try to stand his ground and set his feet and throw the jab. But when he kept moving, when he was forced to move more than he probably wanted to because of the pressure, he couldn't set his feet, and that's when the jab started to kind of taper off. And it's called clean, effective punching. The operative word is effective, right? So you could argue in the first 6 rounds, first half of the fight, Bivol was landing cleaner, but Beterbiev was still landing. They may not have been as clean. They may have been partially blocked. He may have forced his punches through Bivol's high guard, and the friction of the glove may have taken something off of Beterbiev's punch and it didn't look as impressive. But here's the thing. Every time, regardless if it was partially blocked, regardless if there was force through the guard and it slowed down, as I said, because of the friction of the gloves, regardless of any of that, those punches hurt Bivol, regardless, right?
And you could see it. Yeah, you could see it taking a toll.
Beterbiev made any type of contact, right, with any part of the glove, it looked like Bivol was got hit with a crowbar the way he was reacting to it, right? His legs wobbled a couple times. He fell back a couple times. And make no mistake, Bivol landed some good shots on Beterbiev and buzzed him and stopped him in his tracks. But a lot of those shots he was landing flush, Beterbiev, he didn't flinch. His head didn't even move. He was walking through them. So just because Bivol's shots were cleaner and they looked more flashy, didn't mean they had the same effect on Beterbiev as Beterbiev's punches had on Bivol. So effective. And effective is how your opponent is reacting to the punch, how hurt he is or appears to be. And you know what? I sent you that stat that they have this new
what was that?
Counter.
What
Dumbest
is
thing ever.
high impact punch stat?
High impact.
High impact.
How do you judge what's
that?
high impact? You're
what
not
does
in
that
there.
mean?
You're not
What's
in
the
there
difference
taking
between
the
that
punch.
and a power shot? Nothing. It's a meaningless stat.
So
completely meaningless, Beeb.
Well, yeah, I just think Beterbiev definitely poured it on down the stretch, and even in the middle rounds. You know, I think from like fourth to like maybe the eighth, thought he went on a nice little run, and then I gave Bivol rounds 9 and 10, right, and then I had 11 and 12 for Beterbiev. But here's the thing: I had it 115 and 113, but all three judges gave Beterbiev the 10th. All three judges gave Beterbiev the 3rd. I gave Bivol those rounds. So if I flipped one round, I could have it 116 and 112. Again, the 116 and 112 is not impossible. You can argue maybe it's a little bit improbable because 115 and 113 or 114 and 114 is the more of a common scores. But here's the thing: the judges agreed on 10 of the rounds, right? So 2 they disagreed on. So if you had it 115 and 113 for Bivol, you flip 2 rounds, you have it 115 and 113 to Beterbiev. If you added a draw, you flip 2 rounds to Beterbiev, that's 116 and 112. 2 rounds to Bivol, that's 116 and 112. So again, you can argue 115 and 113 either way or a draw, but 116 to 112 was not impossible. It's not as egregious or as outrageous as Eddie Hearn was saying. It's the same thing in the Madrimov fight when one of the scores was 116 and 112 for Crawford. He's crying, "Oh, I don't see how." Eddie, it's one round. It's not like it was in that Canelo Golovkin first fight when one judge had it 10 rounds to 2 for Canelo. It wasn't like that. So 8-4 was not like outrageous. Like Eddie, for some reason, when he sees an 8-4 scorecard going the way of the opposing fighter that's not in his stable, for whatever reason, he sees 8-4 and he just flips out. What's wrong with this 8-4, Eddie? Like you have like some issue when you see an 8-4 score.
7-5 was good. 8-4, I got to draw the line. Like really? Like what? What are you talking about?
Is that like? What
right,
does
makes
that
no
mean?
sense.
It's only one round.
You got your scorecard in front of you by chance?
I can pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up real quick. Because let's go over this, man.
Let's go down the rounds.
All right, so 1 and 2 I had split. I had given Bivol the first round, Beterbiev the second round.
I gave 1 and 2 both for Bivol.
3 and 4 I gave to Bivol.
I gave 3 to Bivol and I gave 4 to Beterbiev.
There you go. 5 and 6 I gave to Bivol.
5 and 6 I gave to Beterbiev.
Okay. 7 and 8 I gave to Beterbiev.
7 and 8 I did give to Beterbiev.
9 and 10 I gave round 9 to Bivol, round 10 to Beterbiev.
I gave round 10 to Bivol.
Rounds 11 and 12 I gave 10. I gave round 11 I gave to Beterbiev, and round 12 I gave to Bivol.
I
thought he closed it a little bit better.
Yeah. I gave round 11 and 12 both to Beterbiev.
Okay. and my final was 113, 115. And let me see here. Round 6, I had it 5-1. At the end of round 6, I had a 59-55 for Bivol. And to me, he was cruising at that point, and then lost the next 2 rounds on my card. And then plays out like it plays out. But yeah, I had him in command. In those first 6 rounds, he was definitely in command on my card anyway.
Yeah. I had it even after 6.
Yeah. So yeah, man. And like I said, in our cards, it was 115, 113. If I give Bivol that second round, like Beeb did, then it's 116. You know what I mean? It's based on what you liked. What did you like? I usually like the guy coming forward, but he's got to be, you can't just come forward. But, having that backward style against a guy like that is tough because, again, the judges will picture you moving as retreating.
Sure.
And you got to put in shots to stop that guy. And that's why, like, if you watch like Floyd Mayweather or Pernell Whitaker, I know we bring these guys up all the time, but they were brilliant because they would go backwards. They would fight on the back foot, but they would also at some point, at least 1 or 2 points, they would stand their ground and they would pop him and they would stop him from coming forward.
Correct. Correct. So the average fan scorecard had it 115 or 114 for Beterbiev. This was 530, actually 613 scorers on BoxRec, because you can score a fight on BoxRec and they'll record your score card, and then they do the average of all the scorers.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so the fans gave Bivol the first 3. They gave Beterbiev the next 4, similar to me. Where I disagreed with the fans was they gave Bivol round 8 and round 9, and I gave Bivol round 9, and so we disagreed there because we agreed there. I think where we disagreed was they gave Beterbiev 10, I gave Bivol 10. So the average fan scorecard agreed with 9 of the 12 rounds with the judges. Right. So again, this was a razor close fight, and there was a lot of people that did score this fight for Beterbiev. So
yeah, no, I haven't. Listen, man, I have no problem with the score, and I've got no problem with me scoring it one way and you scoring it the other way.
Yeah,
because like I said, and I said, as soon as we were kind of touching base on scores, in the beginning of the fights. And I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be one of those fights. If there's no knockout, this is going to be one of those fights that could really go either way.
I'm going to be honest with you. When that final bell rang, I did not know which way it was going. I didn't.
No,
I really didn't know.
I'll tell you, when I heard 116, 112, given the fact that I had it 5 rounds to 1 in that first 6, I thought for sure it was going to go Bivol's way. Yeah. And I thought it was probably a little bit too wide. I'm like, wow, they didn't give him any credit at all. And then to find out it was Beterbiev, like, wow, they didn't give Bivol because he was coming forward and everything. Listen, you saw what you saw. It wasn't, listen, man, this wasn't Roy Jones in the Olympics here in Seoul.
Yeah.
This was not that. This fight could
wasn't
go either
10-2.
way.
It wasn't 10-2 like Hagler Leonard, like when they had one judge gave it to Leonard 10-2, and one judge gave it 10-2 for Canelo. It wasn't that.
Yeah. Well, he didn't win. Well, clearly Ray Leonard didn't win that Hagler fight anyway. So that was obviously a robbery. So that wasn't this fight. That's a great.
Show some respect.
You always come up with the good stuff, Beeb. This is why I like having you on. That's a great point. The Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard robbery. This was not that. Okay. This could have went either way. But that Hagler fight, complete robbery.
Leonard squeaked that fight out, man.
Said nobody. Except maybe Ray Leonard and Beeb. And look at you. You know what always messes with me about that? You're from Boston.
I know.
Beantown.
And I
you probably knew Hagler growing up.
I picked Hagler to win the fight.
No, you didn't. I swear
to God.
Didn't. No, you didn't. He was all over Sugar Ray. Like a cheap suit.
Yeah, it was crazy, that fight. Let me see what the average fan scorecard was for that fight, if they have it. Guess what the average fan scorecard for that fight is?
115, 113.
114 and 114. The average fan scorecard. 136 fans scored that fight, and they had it a draw.
Yeah, it doesn't. You know what I mean?
That was razor close,
man.
too.
B went to junior high with Hagler. Look at this. You still picking against him. That's cold-blooded.
Hagler was a nice guy, though. He was
Manny Gatia. Oh, he was a nice guy. You never liked him, though. You always want to get hometown guy. He was your hometown guy. It's like me going against Pryor or somebody.
He had a house in New Hampshire, too. He moved to New Hampshire.
Yeah. You know all about him, don't you? You guys
nice
are
guy,
best
man.
friends.
Very friendly.
Yeah, great guy.
If you saw him running, doing his road work, and he yelled out, "Hey, Marvin!" He would stop and we go, "Hey!" You know, he's very friendly, nice guy.
Yeah, but you weren't nice to him, though, were you? Where was your support when he needed it? Nowhere.
I was nice to my integrity, man. I have to score the fight how I see it.
I was nice to my integrity.
What did you compromise my integrity?
Yeah.
Maybe if you slip me an envelope or something, maybe then. But I mean, you got to earn it.
Yeah. Oh boy. Only Beeb, man. So, was this the fight of the year? I'm gonna say, I'll tell you, I'm gonna say no. I think that Usyk and Fury was just as good. That first Usyk Fury fight was just as good.
I think the Usyk Fury fight was probably a little better. I think it was better myself. I thought that was a good fight.
I don't know if it was better.
Which fight do you think was closer? I think this fight was closer than that fight, no?
Yeah. This was, I mean, both of these guys, their styles just meshed perfectly. It was a perfect fight. It was a perfect style fight.
Yeah.
And when you see like these fights, you know, a lot of times we'll see a puncher and we'll see a matador, and it never lives up to it. This one did.
Yeah, it did.
This one was really good.
This was some high-level chess in there too, because you were sitting at the edge of your seat saying to yourself, like Beterbiev was getting closer and closer and closer, and then round 7 he started really landing some big shots.
Turn it in, son. Manny Gatillo's got you, son. Turn it in. Turn it in.
Hey, listen, I still was pulling for Peter McNeely when he fought Tyson because he's from Medfield, Mass.
Were you?
Yep. The Hurricane.
I got it on good authority. Now listen, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But I talked to some people who know some people and say you rooted against the Celtics in the finals.
Never.
That's what I heard.
I went to the Celtics parade. I skipped school in 1986.
Now, we're not talking about 1986.
We went to the Celtics
We're talking about the recent Celtics.
I had this nice honey dip on my shoulders, too, and she was, like, looking at the parade on my shoulders.
Yeah, she filed charges against him afterwards.
I had this beautiful honey dip, man.
She didn't even know him. She didn't even know him.
She was a beautiful Dominican girl. She was so – oh, God.
His name was Carlos.
Please. I encourage these people in the chat to take shots.
That's right. Notorious said you're going to root for Jake Paul to get revenge for McNeely. Eddie Hearn crying about the Bivol results, saying Bivol was robbed. He comes out today and was railing against the 116, 112 card. But I said, look, I had it 115, 113 for Bivol. One of those rounds, that second round, it's 116 to 113. If I scored the fight like Beeb and he gave the first 3 rounds to Bivol, if I gave the first 3 rounds to Bivol, my card's 116, 112.
I just don't get it, man. I'm gonna sit there and argue over one round. So you had no problem with the 115 and 113, but just a 1-6. So what if that judge scored at 115 and 113? Would it have changed it, Eddie? I just don't get it.
He's such a crybaby. He always cries. I thought the best one was when him and Frank Warren, the matchroom thing, and they did the 5-on-5, and he lost. Oh, he got swept. Got swept, son. That was the best.
Then he was pissed off in the Madrimov fight when one of those cards had Crawford winning 116 and 112. Well, that's too wide. That's too wide. Should have been a draw.
Everybody in the chat, hit the motherfucking like button.
That's right. If you guys are around, you like what we're doing, or you're entertained, or even if you're not, just hit the button. All right, just hit the button. Just hit the like button. I'm not asking you to work on a coal mine.
I think you had the Crawford fight. I think you had the Crawford fight 116 and 112 for Crawford, didn't you?
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah, I had it 115 and 113 for Crawford. So don't tell Eddie you scored at 116 and 112. Every time he hears 116 and 112, he freaks out.
Yeah, that's 8 rounds to 4. What do you want to do,
I don't know.
Yeah, Hearn is
I'm not going to let that card overshadow how good the fight was and how entertaining it was and the significance of the fight. We finally got an undisputed champion. I mean,
undisputed, man. 4 belts.
I don't have a problem with the scorecards.
And let me tell you what, both guys at the end of the fight, excuse me, were so humble. They asked Bivol if he thought he won the fight. And he says, I don't know. I didn't watch it. I'm in there. I'm fighting. I don't know, and he says, I haven't watched it, anything like that. They asked Beterbiev, and afterwards, this is his quote afterwards. Quote from Beterbiev, I don't think I'm a great boxer. This is coming from the undisputed champion of the world, who's went the distance in one fight, has got a tremendous amateur career. All this tremendous pro career. He's going first ballot Hall of Fame. There's no question about it. There's no question. As soon as his name gets it, he's in. Undisputed.
Right.
You've done everything. And he says, I don't think I'm a great boxer. Beeb, make some sense of that. That's a humble guy.
Very humble guy. Very religious guy. Went to a mosque right after the fight to pray. First place he went, he didn't go partying.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible how humble that guy is, how humble both guys were, and the way they carried themselves, the way both of them guys carried themselves after a win or a loss. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, man.
That's me. After a big victory like that, I'm hitting the strip clubs.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, can you imagine how obnoxious I would be after a big victory like that?
Kidding me?
Oh my God.
Well, a nice Chinese buffet, then I'm hitting the strip clubs.
I'd be like above the law. I just bring the strip club to the Chinese place.
That's right.
That's how I'm rolling.
Take the honey dips over there.
That's right.
Nice dinner.
Eating sushi off of naked chicks and everything, boy. I got it going on. All right. That's how I'd have it going on. All right. Let's talk about the undercard here. Fabio Wardley versus Frazier Clark. 2 heavyweights. This was probably the most anticipated fight that wasn't the main event. And this ended in 1 round, Beeb. Wardley knocks him out in the first round, KO, right hand set it up, and then that was just it, man. What was your thoughts on this?
I was shocked. And then I found out, I guess there was, he put a dent, Wardley put a dent in Frazier Clark's head. How does that even happen? Like, how do you heal from that? What do you have to have surgery or something to realign the bones or something in your head? There was actually a dent in his head after that.
It could have been, was it like swelling, or was it, you know what I'm saying? Like swelling around.
They're saying that they're saying that his head was like Wilder's, like they had the indented little space in his head, I guess.
There's no way your skull doesn't bend. I don't think it bends. So if there's a dent, that's a broken bone. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah,
dislocated
Clark
jaw.
Looked terrific. Dislocated jaw. It was a dent. It was sunk in. Yikes! Yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad. Jai Opatai versus Jack. What is it? One Smack? Is that what he called himself? One Smack Massey?
Jack One Smack Massey.
That was good, man. That was good. Opatai wins by 6-round TKO. Opatai looked pretty good.
He looked shocked.
Chris Eubank Jr. versus Camille Sersmeta. Eubank Jr. wins by TKO in the 7th. You know, I'm not that impressed with Eubank Jr. I'm just not. I think he's a complete waste of talent. I think that, he's on his 3rd trainer in as many fights. Dude. And this is a guy who didn't want a trainer for so many years.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
This is a guy who walks to the beat of his own drum, I guess.
And he's a good fighter. That's the thing. He's a talented, he was a talented fighter, but now he's 35. It's not like you can just go. And somebody wants a big fight. Like, you're not, why? What have you done to earn a big fight other than your name?
I guess honestly, he was offered the Canelo fight and he passed it up. I don't know if it's some issue over money, but I don't know how much they offered.
And then they were offering, they're offering people X amount of dollars to fight him. And I'm like, my man, you're not, who was the guy? Conor Benn.
Yeah.
At the end of the fight, they were getting in, they were jawing at each other. I didn't know Conor Benn spoke Spanish. That was pretty crazy.
Oh, he speaks Spanish. Oh, yeah. He speaks fluent Spanish.
Yeah, he's from, he used to live in Spain or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he speaks fluent Spanish, man. That was pretty cool.
But,
that's another fight. I think it's a big fight in England. I don't really care if I see the fight or not.
I don't care if I see it or not, but once it gets signed, I'll probably get interested in it because of the back.
You and I are going to be, we're totally going to be in.
Listen, it'll probably do great numbers. I don't see how it would not. And if it's a big money fight, then why not do it? Right?
Eubank Jr. is the Timu Roy Jones. I think you're right. And Louis hits it on the head here. Eubank's a diva. He's right. He is. He's spoiled brat.
He likes doing things his own way.
Yeah. And I don't understand that, man. I really don't. He could have been so much better than what he is.
Yeah, he hasn't been consistent.
No. Could have fought Triple G. Didn't want to do that. Could have fought Canelo. Doesn't want to do, because he thinks he should have more money. They think she's off. Why? Well, again, who aside from your last name, really, what have you done? You haven't done anything. You look at his resume. His resume is not like a murderer's row.
He's never won a major world title.
No.
Won the IBO belt last night.
Well, that's different. That's a different level right there. IBO.
That's the best belt, isn't it?
Best one. Isn't that the one that does the computer rankings?
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I trust more than the WBC rankings. Showtime, Ben Whitaker, Beeve. Let me tell you what, this guy's better than Naz was back in the day. Comes in there with the flash, everything like that. What happened to him last night? Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron. Man, let me tell you what, I'm used to Ben Whitaker dropping his hands, throwing his chin out, doing the bolo punches. He wasn't doing any of that last night. He wasn't doing it. He was locked up last night, boy. That guy was there to fight. And you know what? Ben Whitaker was there for a showcase too. You know darn well that was going to be a showcase fight.
It's supposed to be. Didn't turn out that way though.
Didn't turn out that way at all. All right. So what was it? It was a technical draw. Technical draw. All right. So the way this fight ends in the 5th round, he gets pushed over to the ropes, right? Both guys are on the ropes. Next thing you know, they both go tumbling over the ropes. So it almost looked, I don't know. I guess, anything could have happened, but somebody had to it looked like somebody had to
Royal Rumble.
Somebody had to drive. Yeah.
Yeah. And
they both flipped over. And I think it was just a balance thing. More than anything, it was probably just a balance thing in both guys. And Ben Whitaker. Oh, that's good, man. Cool, Montana love. You know what it reminded me of? You remember Riddick Bowe and Elijah Tillery?
Yes.
When he did that kick and then they both went over the ring ropes. That's what it reminded me of.
Yes.
Came back on, man. It was like, oh, come on, man.
That was crazy.
But it was a technical draw. I think we kind of saw Ben Whitaker's cap last night. I really do. Based on the fact that he wasn't fighting the way he normally fights. He wasn't, he was having a rough time in there. That was not an easy fight for him.
I was surprised. I really was.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, me too. Me too. All right, let's go to the phones. Let me get Robert on here and see what he thought of last night. 530, Robert.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Robbie.
Hello,
yeah.
guys. How are you?
Good.
I thought it was a very good fight, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Well, how did you have it scored?
I had 115, 113 for Dmitry Bivol.
115, 113 for Bivol. So did I.
Yep. And if they do it again, I would not mind. I would not mind a bit.
What did you think of the zone switching it up and turning the undercard show into a pay-per-view when originally it was not supposed to be a pay-per-view and they changed it last minute?
Now that I don't understand, because the whole time for the last month we were told that everything was going to be free. Okay? Now I understood that we were going to have to switch over to ESPN Plus for the main event. Okay, that I got. But for them to, at the last minute, decide to charge $20 for the undercard, I didn't understand that at all.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, he bought it.
And I would like somebody to explain to me from the zone, and we'll never get an explanation.
Did you buy it, Robert?
Why all of a sudden they wanted to charge the subscribers. Go ahead, Joe.
Did you buy the pay-per-view, Robert?
Of course I did.
Oh.
Again, you're part of the problem. Man.
You actually bought the. Why would you buy an undercard?
You're enabling these people to keep charging.
Oh my God!
Pay-per-view prices for undercards. You know that, right? It's your fault. It's your fault. I blame you for this.
Yeah, you told me that all day yesterday too. No, it's not my fault.
That's a private conversation, Robert. That's a private conversation that I had with you yesterday.
Oh. Unreal.
I'm sure you want me to go into the details of that conversation. You were telling me you were having problems with. I don't want to get into that, but these are private conversations.
Oh, what's the matter with you?
No, but no, seriously, I don't understand why they did that.
Why did they? Yeah, I don't understand. Why when you told me they charged for an undercard?
Yeah, they switched it right at the last minute. It's insane.
That's insane to me. That is insane.
Meanwhile, Robbie's buying this crap.
I would like somebody. I'd like somebody to explain that to me, but I doubt we'll ever get an explanation.
I can't believe you bought that.
Why don't you send an email to the DAZN reps? File a complaint against them.
Because it's going to go nowhere, Beeb.
That's a good idea.
The Better Business
that's
Bureau.
A good idea. I might do that.
Why don't you call the Better Business Bureau and say, someone pulled the old okey doke on me, man.
I should have zagged.
I thought I was going to be able to watch this for free. I was ready. I spent my last couple bucks to take my mother to Applebee's on Friday, and I didn't know that I
Give me a break.
I wasn't going to have any money left over to buy this pay-per-view.
No,
I had to loan you the $20 because you were in tears on Friday. So I mean, these are things. I'm part of the problem too, but I couldn't. I had to stop you from crying because Mrs. Herrick was telling me that you were throwing a tantrum over there, that you needed to have that pay-per-view bought. So I had to lend you the $20. I'm sorry.
Stretching the truth again.
Oh my God.
Stretching the truth.
Again. What can I say?
Stretching the truth. Please.
All right, Robert, we're going to put you on hold.
Any day of the week.
I'm going to put you on hold, Robert.
All right.
All right, man. 773 Chicago. You're live.
Not this guy.
Kevin.
So this was all about
What's
optics.
up, Kev?
This is what's up, guys? This fight was all about optics. What it came down to. You look at he's coming forward and he's throwing more punches, and you see Bivol and he's backing up. So of course it's the guy coming forward throwing more punches. But who's landing the cleaner punches? Look at Bivol. His shots were clean, powerful, accurate strikes. I mean, they would land clean on the chin. And you look at, I can't even remember if Beterbiev landed clean on the chin. It was all blocked. Every punch was blocked off the glove, high guard. Maybe a couple body shots. That's about it. But, I mean, I'm looking at the combinations Bivol throw. Around the hook, you see the shot. He would go around with the check hook right on the chin, rocked him bad. He was landing a lot of those. He was landing straight rights right down the middle, right on the chin. And it's shocking that people actually can score this for Beterbiev. And I don't know how many times I've heard.
A lot of people scored it for Beterbiev. A lot of people.
I know it's shocking. It's shocking that people, because he's coming forward.
You have your own interpretation on how you saw things. Just because those shots were getting through, they just weren't landing as flush as Bivol's.
They weren't landing flush at all. And the fact that people bring it up, his eye. Would you see his face? You see his face? It's like, this is amateur hour. That's amateur hour. It's face.
I seen Bivol's legs. I seen Bivol's legs do a little bit of the chicken dance on a couple occasions. So I don't know. I saw him holding on for dear life.
Get hurt once.
You didn't see him get hurt once.
You know what I saw? I saw him tired. I saw him get tired. It was fatigue.
Well, that's how you're going to interpret it.
It was. I saw.
So if someone gets hit over the head with a bat and the ground bleeding, what are they tired? I mean, how are you going to interpret this stuff? He was tired. Why was he tired?
About, did his brain get rattled or not? We're talking, did his brain get rattled?
How did you score the fight, Kevin? Kevin, how did you score the fight?
In his brain. That's what hurt me.
How'd you score the fight, Kevin?
So I had it Bivol 15-13, maybe even 16-14.
I had it 15. I had the same 16, score, 115-113.
So you had it 15-13. So you had it close.
I mean, when I seen that 16-12 scorecard, I thought it was a lock. I thought it was a lock for Bivol. I was like, 116-112. It's Bivol, no doubt.
Sound like you bet on Bivol.
I actually thought it was too. I actually thought it was a lock too. When I heard 116-112.
That 116-112 scorecard, right? And then when I saw Kadarev walk out there and they're in Saudi, I'm like, he ain't got a shot. He ain't got a shot. The fix is in. Typical boxing. He's going up against the whole system as usual. But yeah, that's just boxing in a nutshell. I mean, they look at the optics and he's going backwards and you see him. It's all arm punches. Beterbiev is throwing all arm punches. He's coming forward. He looks like the what's the that game where he punches like that game where you got to hit the top of it. It's like the robot.
Rock'em Sock'em.
Like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, Rock'em Sock'em.
Rock'em Sock'em with the 1, 2 robot.
Well, you really
none of them were.
What Beterbiev was doing.
None of them were crisp. None of them were clean.
Wow.
It was all like 1,
nothing
2,
landed
1, 2,
at all, huh?
Forward, but
no punches landed at all.
Nothing clean.
Did you see his face?
Bivol very defensively sound.
Did you see Bivol so hurt? Face at the end of it?
Why was Bivol so hurt?
Was landing
in the second half of the fight. He almost got stopped in round 11. What happened? Did he drug him? Would he get drugged in the corner? Is that why he was wobbly? What happened here?
One that I mixed.
You know what it is? It's fatigue because obviously it's the pressure.
Why did he get tired?
Moving a lot, and it's the explosive punches he was throwing. If this was the ultimate chin championship, I mean, Beterbiev would be pound for pound best. The dude just keeps coming forward. He's got an iron chin, obviously, but that's not what wins fights. Having a good chin, you just take a good shot, keep coming forward. That's not wins fights. What wins fights is who's landing cleaner strikes.
So then why did two judges have him winning?
Clean strike.
Why did I have him winning? Why did 50% of the people that watched the fight had him winning? Are we all crazy?
Boxing is the most corrupt sport in the world. That's why.
Oh, so when things don't go the way you think they should go, it's corruption.
It's always been corruption. It's always been the case.
Gotcha. Excellent.
All right, Kevin, we're going to go ahead and put you back on hold, man. Thank you so much for calling.
Now they can do the rematch.
That's right. That's right. The rematch is coming. I'll stop it. I'll stop it.
Give him the hook.
What's the matter with you?
Give him the hook.
I'll quit. What's wrong with you? I mean, really, show some respect. You talking about Kevin from Chicago, son?
Yeah.
Block, Kevin.
Send him back to Chicago.
O Block, son. Know that. 210 Texas, San Antonio. You're live.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
What's up, guys? It's Rod. How you doing?
hey,
Hey,
Rod,
what's
what's
happening,
going on,
man?
man?
How you doing?
I try to get it all out, man. I got a lot. I usually save y'all for work, but man, this is what we need. When was the last time? You had sweaty palms? You're squinting
Yeah.
when you're watching a fight.
Absolutely.
You're getting
Heart
pissed
was
off.
pumping.
Kid walks by. Get out of the way.
Heart was pumping, man.
You know, like, and that's what we've been missing. I'm over here thinking, am I losing my passion for boxing? But no, it's because Canelo's not giving us fights where we know what's going to happen. Tank's not giving us fights. We know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So I haven't felt like this since Fury Usyk. And what's the common denominator? They're non-Americans. They lose with class. They're non-Americans. They don't talk a lot. They just fight. They're non-Americans. Man, I don't know. Outside of Bam and Bud, Americans have gone down the toilet, man. But anyway,
Shipping our jobs overseas. Now we're shipping our fights overseas too. This is horrible. The world is coming to an end here.
I'm telling you, man, this Eastern European style is coming, man. And those jabs, you can't count a jab as a non-power punch anymore when it's the Russians, man. That's a power punch. But anyway, I don't agree. I had Beterbiev winning. I had Beterbiev winning by 1 round.
This is a great call already, man.
The reason why is the first 3 rounds there wasn't much done, but what I scored was the pressure. The pressure was making Bivol move back. In the middle rounds, Bivol had some good rallies, but Beterbiev was smart. If you notice, when he threw those rallies, Beterbiev will come back and he would try not to let him steal the round like that. He would like do the Eric Morales when Eric Morales gets hit. He comes back and he tried to answer back so he didn't capitalize the round. So those were kind of up for grabs. And then the last round, of course, Bivol was, I don't know if he was tired. He looked hurt. But the one thing we got to realize is that these guys are big boys, and the judges are ringside. They you know, when you're ringside, you can feel the punches. You can feel the thud in your chest. Like maybe that's what they were going off. Maybe that's what they were going off of. I don't know, but
it's possible.
People were saying, I don't necessarily. People that were there were saying even the shots that Bivol was blocking, they were making a loud smack noise from the Beterbiev. Was even the shots that Bivol was blocking from Beterbiev.
Exactly, and on one of the rounds, I thought like where the jab was getting blocked, they showed the replay and it went through and it snapped his head back a little bit. I'm like, whoa, this guy's like busting through the guard. But you got to have quick eyes to see it. But the one thing I don't like people throwing robbery is Triple G Canelo 1. When you have a Melvina Lathan or whatever her name was, a card like that, or when you have a Devin Haney versus Loma when Devin Haney was hurt badly and you had a judge give it to Devin Haney. When you see egregious stuff like that, that's when you could say, okay, man, there's something fishy. You can call it a robbery. I'm not gonna argue with if anybody has the other way around or a draw. It was a great fight. And that's what we needed, man. So I'm excited for the rematch. I think it's going to happen. If it's in an 18 by 18 ring again, the way Top Rank always does it, I think Beterbiev is going to get his ring rust off. I think he's going to be a little bit sharper. He had a lot working against him coming off of injury, coming off of inactivity. And Bivol is going to have to open up more because he knows I can't rely on the judges. So he might get tired faster and he might open up more. So I got Beterbiev as a better shot unless he turns 40, which he's going to turn 40.
I agree.
You never know what's going to happen.
I don't think Bivol can do anything different.
I'm hyped, man. I can't wait. I think Bivol is going to turn it up more, but I think it's going to work against him because maybe he was a little fatigued. And if it happens quicker, that's better for Beterbiev because he's getting older and because he's coming off a long layoff and a major knee surgery. That was a big question, right?
Yeah.
So I think it'll work for Beterbiev if they don't wait. But one more last thing before I go, man. But I know y'all are boxing nerds like me. Do y'all remember that fight, Camacho Jr. versus Leija?
Jesse James
Leija?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he got that eye, and then he's like, "Oh no, I can't see," and everybody's like, "That." He kind of called it because he felt Leija coming on. I think that's what happened with Ben Whitaker, man, and that was the end of that hype train. We'll see what happens with this one, but that's what that reminded me of, man. It's the kid. He was starting to get banged up. He's starting to get worn down. And I think he found a way out. So we'll see, man, unless I see some MRIs. But thanks for the show, man.
Oh, thank you, sir. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Call.
All right, 718, New York. You're live.
What's going on, guys? It's Raphael.
Raphael,
What's up, Raphael?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Kind of excited to hear the feedback on everybody because everyone was actually claiming robbery on this. I didn't see a robbery. It was just a very close, contested matchup.
Good fight.
I had it 115-113 Beterbiev, and it could have been a draw.
This is a great call, man.
It could have gone either way.
We have
A
the
lot of people
smartest
had better.
callers.
A lot of people had better news today, didn't they?
There's callers on this show. They know they're boxing. Go ahead, Raphael. I'm sorry.
I had called last week, and I have stated that I was picking Beterbiev, but I was expecting it by knockout. The fact that it went to a decision, I was not expecting that, and I could have seen a case. You could make a case for Bivol, like a strong case for Bivol. It just depends on what the judges were looking for on that night. But to say that this is a robbery, no. I mean, we've seen. What's a straight highway robbery? That Barboso versus Sean McCombie that happened under the Ryan Garcia fight. That was a straight robbery. We've all seen robberies this year and throughout the years, but this was just a very close matchup. A lot of people were interested in seeing how this was going to play out because this actually just shapes up the stage of the next super mega fight, which could be either Benavidez or rematch with Canelo. And a lot of people are pretty much in their feelings, but I necessarily can't say anything other than it was a great matchup. Can watch it again, and who knows? Maybe Beterbiev looks worse next fight, or he could look better because he was coming off of a very long layoff, had the knee surgery. Those are things that people kind of go over their heads. Like this guy was out for almost a year because of the knee injury. So who knows? That's pretty much my take on that.
All right. Raphael, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate it, man. It was a good call.
Great call that was.
Let's go to 404 Atlanta. Could be Jerry here. Or no, not Jerry.
It's not Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry's in Baltimore.
Coach Eddie from the ATL. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much, man. Good night of fights last night. Me personally, I had a Bivol win in the fight. I had 7 out of 5 when I heard the score. When I heard 116, well, I thought the Bivol won the fight before the announcement because I didn't see no way in the heck that Artur Beterbiev could have won 8 rounds. So when I heard the scorecard, I automatically thought Bivol won the fight. I was surprised when they called Artur's name. It wasn't a robbery, It depends. I don't know what you like. Like I said, a lot of people are saying robbery or this, that, and the third, and a lot of people are saying, well, it was the pressure of Beterbiev. Well, if you think that the pressure of Beterbiev won the fight, I mean, you thought Maidana beat Floyd Mayweather because that was a whole lot more pressure than Beterbiev put on Bivol last night. But like I said, it all depends on what you like. If you like guys that move around, box a little bit, use the toes, use the ring, then you're gonna favor Bivol. You like the guy that comes forward. Even though a lot of times, Arthur was shadow boxing in there. He was hitting a lot of air last night. A lot of people, especially in the early rounds, he was hitting nothing but air. He was throwing a lot of punches, but he couldn't hit anything. And me personally, I don't score punches that land on the elbows and gloves, but for some reason, this new era, people do. Not a scoring blow. It's called. I give credit for defense. Also, that's a part of boxing. I think a lot of people forget that defense is a part of boxing. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you can win a fight strictly based on defense, but if you mix some offense and defense and lateral movements, like people forget that you can win a fight going backwards. We've seen Sugar Ray Leonard win fights going backwards. We've seen Muhammad Ali win fights going backwards. We've seen Larry Holmes win fights going backwards. I don't understand this new group of people think, oh, the guy that's coming forward, he's automatically winning. It's the guys.
Yeah, there is definitely a lot of that where, if he's coming forward, he's winning the fight. I completely get that. I had the fight score, like I said, I had the fight score for Bivol as well, but I didn't really have too much of a problem with the decision. I thought that, like I said, man, that fight, it depends on who's watching and who's judging it as to what you like. If you like the aggressor, there you go. If you like the matador, there you go. It was just one of those type of fights.
I think Bivol made a tactical error he emptied his gas. He emptied his own gas tank out. I seen it early. He was sitting down and throwing punches a lot harder than he usually does. I think he was trying to get Arthur's respect early.
Yep.
So he was increasing the power on his punches, and I think that cost him later on in the fight because he didn't have enough left in reserve, in the 10th and 11th round to pull. Because his arm probably felt like lead. He was throwing his punches, which lets me know that his arms were tired.
Yeah.
And I think all that was just from basically throwing a lot of power punches, trying to get some. It seemed like at times he was trying to knock him out a couple of times, especially when he got him hurt. I think he landed a couple of good punches, and I think he emptied his gas tank. In the next round, he didn't do anything. So I think he emptied his gas tank out when he felt like he had hurt Beterbiev. He was trying to finish him off, but it didn't happen. And both guys kept their hands up really well, so there wasn't a lot of devastating punches landed between the guys. So like I say, it was a good matchup, man. Ben Whitaker, he quit. He did a Bernard Hopkins. He did a Kermit Cintron. He quit. I mean, we've seen Bernard do this, 2 times? He did it against Chad Dawson. He did it against Antoine Eccles. We've seen Kermit Cintron do the same thing against Sergio Martinez. Dove right out the ring. Ben Whitaker, he quit. There was nothing wrong with him. Wasn't hurt. He just didn't want no part. And the other guy, the egg-shaped form, with the egg, Frazier and Clark.
Yeah.
Where are all the Wilder detractors at right now in egg-shaped form? There's no way you can get a dent in your head. Let's go to prove you can get a dent in your head in boxing because that dude definitely had a dent in his head. I think he actually dislocated his jaw because his
jaw too. They said that. They said that.
I got jacked up, son.
Yeah, they said he hurt his. They said his jaw got broken. They said. Yeah,
it was broken. Heck yeah, you can immediately see it was broken because he had his face twisted to the side. He broke that freaking mandible right up there.
Heavyweights ain't nothing to mess with, man. Them heavyweights are big, dude.
He got messed up. I felt bad for that dude, man.
Them heavyweights are big guys, man.
But like I said, that's my point, man. I thought Bivol did enough to edge it out. But say either way, look, I'm going to get a rematch. I think I'm going to favor Bivol in a rematch. I think he'll do a lot better. I think he'll be smarter. And I think he'll learn from this. Yeah, but that's my call.
All right, man. Thank you so much for calling, man. Appreciate it. Let's address this for a minute, though. He says that, and he's 100% right when he says that arm punches, when you're blocking him on it, that doesn't count. He's 100% right. Those are not scoring shots. But I'm telling you, what tired him out wasn't I think a lot of things tired Bivol out. And I think he's got a point. Him sitting down on those shots early. Because he has to. He's got to try to put something together because this guy ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he stood there with them more than I thought he would. He spent a little more time in the pocket, yeah.
And also,
he had to know if he could hurt him or not, too. He had to know.
Those arm shots take its toll. And let me tell you what, and you and I both witnessed this too, the body shots. Yep. We were calling it out on chat and everything like that, man. Those body shots that Beterbiev hit him with, they were hurting him. And they were solid shots. You got
your hands up like this, ready to block his shots. And you're trying to block it. And you're trying to block it, and he's like pushing his punch through the guard.
Yeah.
Try to block the punch, and you put your hand up to block it, and he's hitting your hand, and it's still going through.
I mean, every single shot that guy throws has got power on it.
It's fucking
and it's not like, and he just chains them together, almost like he's just got heavy hands, I think is what it is. I mean, that guy, and you know what? You look at that guy, there's not an ounce of fat on that guy.
No.
I mean, that guy, he looks like he's made out of granite.
He throws like corkscrew punches too. Like, yeah, he had his hand up like this, and he just threw his jab. He's like that. Like a little corkscrew. And you see Bivol's heads go like boom. The punches move like 6 inches, man. There's not even like a ton of torque on them.
And let's talk about a rematch for a second, right? So, say these guys rematch.
Yeah.
Bivol, what can Bivol do differently?
That's
you
can't
what I'm move saying. For 12 rounds. You tried it. It's not going to work.
Beterbiev can do more. He can go to the body more. He could use his jab more. He could stop maybe a tad bit quicker.
You don't have enough to keep him off of you.
I don't think Bivol does better in the rematch. I think it's worse for him.
I agree. All right,
I
let's
really
go
do.
to no number on here. It just says 11111. So could be from overseas. Could
be Hamid. Could be Hamid.
You're live. 11111.
Yeah.
You're live.
Yes, guys. How's it going? It's been a while.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up there,
How did
Hamid?
you guys-
Man.
Alhamdulillah, man.
That's it. I had the
Alhamdulillah.
same score as Beeb. I'm wondering, how did you guys both score the fight? Because
I had
missed
it.
the beginning of the show.
I had it 115, 113 for Bivol. Beeb had it the same way for Beterbiev.
I told you I had it 115 and
All right. How
113
did
on
Robbie get
Twitter.
Yeah, no, I was wondering how Eric and Robbie had it, because I didn't hear how they had the fight, but I had it 115, 113 for Beterbiev as well. I
You're an
thought
excellent
you could
scorer.
argue
You're an excellent scorer.
draw 7.
Everybody
Yeah.
had that score today, didn't they?
But the thing is,
More
the
people-
thing is, I thought Bivol was winning after. I thought Bivol was winning, but I thought he slowed down and his work rate drastically dropped.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not just about coming forward. I thought Beterbiev was applying more pressure and landing more body shots. He did abandon the body early on, but from the mid to late rounds, I thought it was a Beterbiev fight the last 6 rounds. I gave him the last 3, so I thought you could argue a draw. I can understand how people had Bivol with it. I just don't think the first 6 rounds were a wipeout. Like a lot of the commentators and a lot of these networks made it out, because I heard the zone were very biased towards Bivol, and I heard there was, I think, a couple of people on ESPN. I know Bradley, they were saying was being pro Beterbiev, but Sky, I thought, were also being a bit too complimentary of Bivol's work, because I thought after 4 rounds it was about 3-1. Then after 6, you could have had a level or 4.
I had it level.
I
I had it even after
they
6.
gave that's how I had it, but I could live with 4-2 Bivol.
4-2 is fine
I
too.
thought
You can have a 4-2 the
Bivol-
other way. Yeah.
I know 4-2 Bivol or 3-3, but Beterbiev closed the gap after 6, and then I thought Bivol slowed down, and I had in my head after 9, but I thought in the 10, 11th, and 12th he gave it away. Some people gave him the 10th, but I thought that was based on, I think it was like a 20-second period where he threw shots, but I thought he got outworked in the 10th round, and I thought Bivol was hanging on in the 11th. He came back in the 12th, but I don't think he did enough to win the 12th. And
I don't think so either.
I gave him the 12th.
was
I thought he did a little better. I thought he did a little better in the 12th. I thought he
I don't
won a
think he did.
majority of the round, but most people
Rewatched
disagree
it,
with
I
me.
thought he was holding too much. That's why I couldn't.
Yeah, he was
give it
holding
to him,
on a
because he
lot.
was holding and he wasn't throwing. Yeah, he wasn't throwing enough. And I thought if it was 15 rounds, Beterbiev may have probably even had a chance to take him off. But
I said
don't
the
think
same
he
thing.
did.
I said the same thing. If that was a
Beterbiev
15-round
15
fight,
rounds.
Bivol was getting stopped.
We talked about it. Remember, we talked about it last week. 15 rounds. Remember?
If that was a
about it
15-round
last
fight,
week.
there's no way Bivol was finishing. No way.
Yeah. I give him credit though. For 12 rounds, no one's done that.
Oh,
I think
did
Eric
great.
Cooling is the only guy to get to the 12th. Yeah, he's the only guy to get to the 12th round, but he got knocked out in the last round. But a lot of people are complaining. I thought Beterbiev eked it out because I thought he was the effective aggressor, and I thought he was the more of the ring general in more of the rounds. But I could see it as a draw, so I'm not gonna say it was like a clear cut win either way. But people are complaining about the judging and especially one scorecard. If you were to change one thing in the future, would you rather have 5 judges or 15-round fights? If you could choose just the
15-round fights, I would love. I love 15-round fights.
Yeah. I used to like the 15
I don't like
rounders,
12-round
too.
fights. I don't like
Yeah,
the even number. I don't like the even number of rounds. I'd rather there be an odd number. That's why I
Ray
like
Leonard.
15.
Ray Leonard chose 12 rounds against
Yeah.
Hagler.
Very tactical.
Yeah, if it's
Decision,
an
man.
undisputed fight, you should
Was it
give
He's a
him
very
a
genius.
tactical?
He's very intelligent man. I mean, about the victory, right? Oh, please!
Before I go, do you guys reckon Benavidez Morel winner would beat either one of these guys? I think they both would have beaten.
Oh
Benavidez.
man, I used to think Benavidez would beat everybody. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. That's a crazy fight, right?
I think
Because
better.
both of those guys come forward.
Yeah, No
That's a great
disrespect,
fight, man.
no disrespect to Bivol, but I think Beterbiev beats everyone until I'm proven otherwise.
Yeah, you can't. That's how you got to look at it, man. That's really until he gets beat. I don't know.
Till
if
I
he
see
can
him get old, I'm gonna treat him as if he's still
Looked
young.
amazing last night, by the way.
Yeah, the
age
conditioning,
39,
the
40 years old.
conditioning on this man
Amazing.
is incredible, like
Yeah.
none other. Like
He didn't
none
look like he
other.
slipped at all, and he's
No.
been out. He had surgery, and when he came back, like I said, man, he looked in shape. He was bouncing around in the 12th round. He was ready to go. He was picking up steam as the fight went on. Amazing shape.
That got me thinking. Him and Kovalev would have been a great fight, but I think Beterbiev would have beaten Ward. I think Ward retired and didn't take that fight for a reason. I think he was all wrong for Ward on the inside. It would have been great to have seen that as well. I think
it would have been a very tough fight for Ward.
And it was like a high risky fight. Yeah. Thanks for taking my call, guys. It's good speaking to you guys.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Man, from across the pond, baby, staying up for
baby.
us, man. Beterbiev, King KO says Beterbiev KO's Ward. Ward retired because of Beterbiev, Bivol, and Stevenson. Listen, man, I don't know. Because, you saw in that Kovalev fight, man, Ward's got the dog in him, man. Ward had a lot of dog in him.
Yeah.
And I know Beterbiev does too, but so does Ward. That's not a cut and dry fight, man. And let me tell you, Ward can hurt you, and he knows how to hurt you. And he had the, that's one of those fights that will always, what if, always one of those what if fights, man.
It's true.
What ifs. Let's see what they got on tap for next weekend here. Let's see here. All right. October 19th on Prime Video, Bakram Murtazaliev versus Tim Tszyu, 12 rounds for Murtazaliev's IBF junior middleweight title. That's a good fight. I'm interested to see how Tim Tszyu looks there.
Yep.
And that's really the only fight next week.
Off the big cut. See if that cut's fully healed, right?
Yeah. I'm really curious to see how he looks.
Yep.
After that. I think that'll be real interesting. And he was supposed to, he was supposed to rematch, wasn't he? Or they never wanted that rematch, did they?
No, because Fondura wanted to fight Spence.
That's what it was.
And that fight's supposed to, I think they're saying that fight's going to happen in February, maybe.
He was supposed to fight Crawford, right?
They were gonna order that fight, but they're gonna allow him to fight Spence first.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna order the Crawford fight. I have a feeling Crawford's gonna fight Tszyu.
Crawford passed on that fight.
Did he?
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what Samson said. But you and I both know Samson says a lot of stuff.
Says a lot of shit.
He's all over the place. News and rumors here. David Benavidez versus David Morrell is set. I like Benavidez in that one. It's a really solid fight, though. Very solid fight.
Yeah.
And Teofimo Lopez says his contract with Top Rank is invalid. More Teo stuff here. Teofimo Lopez is from ESPN. In a letter sent to Top Rank on Thursday, contended his promotional agreement was invalid and that he should be a free agent, sources told ESPN. Top Rank is, of course, disputing this claim as he has multiple fights left on his contract. Guys, listen, man, we've seen this play out a million times, and how often does the fighter ever win these? Like never, right? Like never. These contracts are always ironclad because most of these dudes are lawyers, You
saw the last time Teofimo Lopez made a free agency move, and what happened? He lost to Kambosos.
He's just not, dude. Like Top Rank is where you probably need to be. Honestly, it is. They've got good fighters there. They can get you to good fights.
Right.
I mean, just pick somebody and start fighting, dude. Instead of all this nonsense that he keeps giving everybody.
That's right.
It is what it is.
A lot of long layoffs.
Yeah. Quick thing here, man. Did you see the previews for that movie Terrifier 3?
No, I did not.
All right. So it's the #1 movie. Apparently it hit #1 this weekend or whatever.
Really?
It's like this big slasher film about this clown who goes out just offing people, Man, let me tell you what. I took Lisa. Lisa hates me now because she could barely watch the film. People are going to see this movie and they're passing out. They're passing out and throwing up and everything like that.
Gross?
It's pretty bad, man. It's like a pretty hardcore like slasher film. It's nuts, man. If you get a chance and you like that kind of stuff, man, go check it out. Otherwise, man, it's crazy.
What's it called again? Slasher what?
Terrifier 3 is what it's called.
Terrifier 3. Okay.
And the main dude in this is clown. He's got this clowny face and everything like that, you know. And I mean, this clown is like ruthless, man. If you like horror type movies or whatever, scary movies, you got to check it out, man. It's nuts. It is crazy. And like nothing's off limits, man. Like when you see it, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, nothing's off limits with this thing, man. Oscar contender. Yeah, probably. I don't know, man. Yeah, and did you see the Megalopolis? Did you see Megalopolis at all?
No, I didn't see that either.
That movie looks like straight dumpster fire. But that other did you see the Joker? The
musical
Joker movie?
No, I have all
terrible,
these movies
right?
on my app, and I haven't been interested in seeing them.
That Joker 2 movie was a musical. It was awful. I didn't like it at all, man. Why would you take the first movie and how good it was and then turn it into that? Like what? I don't know. Anyway, that's my movie minute for this week. Hey, listen, man, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1 and find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. You can find me on Twitter at ringside73, and we will see you guys next week.